Texas Governor Greg Abbott was in Sutherland Springs yesterday. He's with us now from Austin. Governor, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
Let me begin with two questions. Do we know motive, and do we know if there was any connection between the suspect, now dead, and the church?
You know, Charlie, the way that the evidence seems to be turning, it looks like there was a connection. It's something that law enforcement officers are continuing to look at, but I think the bottom line is this was not a random act of shooting. I don't think this church was picked out at random. I think there was a purpose and intent that Devin Kelly had in showing up at this particular location. Obviously, the motivation behind it was completely deranged, as I'm sure you know and may have reported. This is a man who had some mental health issues apparently long before this, even long before he enlisted in the United States Air Force. As I'm sure you know, he was dishonorably discharged. And so this is a person who had mental challenges at the time this happened. But I do believe that there was a connection between him and this location that will come to light over the coming days.
Governor, what evidence do you have of mental health challenges?
Well, obviously, I'm sure you know about his dishonorable discharge and the reasons for that discharge, and that alone shows that he was challenged. There have been some other reports, I would say, loosely made, not confirmed, about some mental health issues before he entered into the United States Air Force. And so it's clear this is a person who had violent tendencies, who had some challenges, and someone who was a powder keg, seeming waiting to go off.
Then, Governor, if you say he was a powder keg, and we do know that he was court-martialed in 2012 on charges he assaulted his spouse and child, how was he able to purchase an AR-15 in the state of Texas?
Sure. Well, I will tell you this, and that is current law, as it exists right now, should have prevented him from being able to get a gun. I can tell you that before he made this purchase, he tried to get a gun permit in the state of Texas and was denied that permit. And so under the current system of federal law, he should have prevented from being able to make this purchase. How that got through the cracks, I don't have that information, but it's important to understand these are the types of facts and issues that investigators continue to look into, and we will be able to have clear answers to those questions in the coming days.
Why was he denied?
He was denied a Texas gun permit because of either answers or the like thereof that were provided in his request to get a Texas gun permit.
Governor, we're hearing stories that 8 members of one family lost their lives on that Sunday morning going to church. So now we're at a place where you get shot at a concert, at a school, at a movie theater, and now in church. Do you now think that we have to think this is a new normal in this country for the citizens who live here?
Well, listen, we need to understand one thing, and that is in this country, killing is illegal. And we've seen challenges in all different kinds of ways, as you know. Just last week, we saw a person use a truck to mow down people in a bike lane. As you know, we've seen bombings at concerts in London, as well as knife stabbings. And so
right
we
now
need to
we're just
understand
focusing
reality.
on the guns. Right now we're just focusing on the guns. What is it going to take, in your opinion?
And that is what you're focusing on. It's important that we all understand two very important things, and that is we have evil that occurs in this world, whether it be a terrorist who uses a truck to mow down bikers in New York City, whether it be a terrorist who uses bombs or knives to stab people, or other terrorists who use vehicles, whether it be in Nice, France, or any other place in the entire world, who mow down people. We have evil that we have to confront, and hence the greatest response to evil is what I encountered in Sutherland Springs last night, and that is the key focus of these victims' families that I got to hug and hold and pray with. They wanted one thing. They wanted a stronger connection to God. They wanted to be able to pray as we shared a candlelight vigil. And it's important that we go back to the fundamentals of our faith-based nation and ensure that we connect with God.
We all agree. Praying and hugs are very good. But what can we do to keep these weapons out of people that you were saying yourself are evil? What can we do about that?
Well, and the important thing is, if you go back to early times of this world, to the times of yesterday and last week, Evil exists in this world, and as I'm going to use the words of the citizens of Sutherland Springs themselves, and that is they want to work together for love to overcome evil, and you do that by working with God.
All right, Governor, thank you very much. We're going to have to leave it there, but of course this story continues and continues and continues. Thank you so much.